The Miami Dolphins are staring down a critical offseason in 2025, and let's not beat around the bush, this roster has problems. Big ones. The kind of problems that can derail a team's trajectory if not handled with precision and urgency. The truth is, this team isn't where it needs to be. We've seen glimpses of greatness, sure, but glimpses aren't enough. What Miami needs is consistency, dominance, and a foundation that won't crumble under pressure. Right now, that foundation is shaky at best. The Dolphins are entering this offseason $14 million over the 2025 salary cap. Think about that for a second. They're not just treading water financially, they're sinking. Cuts, restructures, extensions, it's all going to happen if this team wants to stay competitive. Some fans might call it reckless spending, but that's the game in today's NFL. You don't sit back and play it safe when you think you're close. You push your chips to the middle of the table. But here's the issue, Miami keeps pushing those chips, and they keep coming up short. They're close, but not close enough. Chris Grier and the front office have their work cut out for them. The offseason is about prioritizing, plain and simple. Who stays? Who goes? Who gets paid, and who gets shown the door? Miami has a lineup of pending free agents, and not all of them are coming back. That much is certain. The hard part is figuring out which players are worth the investment and which ones are expendable. Jevon Holland is the crown jewel of this free agent class. There's no question about his value. He's a young, dynamic player who anchors the defense and makes game-changing plays. But let's face it, his price tag is going to reflect that. Holland is due for a massive contract, and as much as Miami would love to keep him, the numbers might make it impossible. You also have Kader Kohou, another young standout who's likely to command a significant salary. These are the tough decisions the Dolphins are facing. You can't keep everyone, no matter how much you want to. Beyond Holland and Kohou, there's a group of role players who've contributed in varying degrees. Jordan Poyer, Tyrell Dotson, Isaiah Wynn, Kendall Lamb, Emmanuel Ogbah, and Calais Campbell all made their marks in 2024. But let's be honest, not all of these guys are difference makers. Poyer, for example, had his moments, but his inconsistency can't be ignored. One minute he's making a crucial tackle, and the next he's completely blowing an assignment. If he's willing to come back on a team-friendly deal, great. If not, it's time to move on. Now let's talk about Calais Campbell, because if there's one player Miami absolutely needs to prioritize, it's him. Forget his age. Forget the fact that he's nearing the end of his career. What matters is his impact, and Campbell was nothing short of a game-changer for this defense. He signed a one-year, $2 million deal in 2024 and played like he was worth $20 million. Pro Football Focus graded him as Miami's top free agent with an elite rating of 82.3. That's not just good, that's dominant. Campbell was the anchor of Miami's run defense. He was the guy in the trenches making life miserable for opposing offenses. Without him, that defensive line looks a whole lot less intimidating. The question is, will he retire? Recent comments from Chris Grier suggest that Campbell might be willing to return for another season, and if that's the case, the Dolphins need to make it happen. There's no replacing a player like him without spending a fortune or burning a high draft pick. And let's be real, those draft picks are needed elsewhere. If Campbell is open to returning, the deal needs to get done. It's as simple as that. This team's issues on defense weren't about stopping the run. They struggled with tackling at the second level and getting consistent pressure on the quarterback. But up front, Campbell was a force. Letting him walk would be a mistake of epic proportions. You don't gamble with the foundation of your defense. As for the other free agents, it all comes down to cost. Players like Wynn and Lamb add depth to the offensive line, and depth is always valuable, but they're not solving the bigger issues in the trenches. Dotson is a decent linebacker, but he's not the guy who's going to take this defense to the next level. And then there's Ogbah. Once thought to be a rising star on this defense, he's now little more than a rotational piece. Useful, but far from essential. This offseason isn't just about free agents, though. It's about the bigger picture. The AFC East isn't getting any easier. The Bills are still a powerhouse. The Jets, assuming they figure out their quarterback situation, are loaded with talent. Even the Patriots, for all their recent struggles, are never a team you can count out for long. Miami can't afford to take a step back. This is a team that's been on the brink for years, and the fan base is tired of waiting. The time to deliver is now.